Good afternoon, everyone. What a day to have a mobility session when the trains are not working. I almost didn't make it, but then Rakesh said that, no, you have to come here. So I drove over here instead of the train. Anyway, my name is Yunus, and I work for Honda. I've been working for Honda for 14 years. And today I am going to talk about mobility, but from a completely different technology aspect. So, how will AI, I'm sure that today there's been a tremendous amount of different topics which covered AI application, and I'm no different, but I'm also going to talk about something called Web3, decentralization, and how that will affect mobility as such. So, why you should spend 15 minutes listening to me. So let me just tell you a little bit brief about myself. So my name is Yunus. I basically head the emerging technology lab at Honda. I've had 4 different jobs at Honda. I started in quality, moved on to model development, then started the first connected car team in Honda, and right now I head the emerging tech lab. I have a very, very fun job. My job is to imagine what the world will look like in the future. We have a team actually, you can call futurist, who actually look at complete pestle and find out what the future might be. And then my job is to find out what technologies and services are required for that future and then actively investigate those. To give you a little bit background about Honda, please have a look at this.
Never seen a bluer sky. Yeah, I could feel it reaching out and moving closer. Ask myself what it's all for. And images that might be real, maybe illusion. Keep flashing off and on. Wanna be free.
The power of dreams. How we move you.
Gonna be free.
I'm quite privileged to work for the only automotive company, only mobility company which knows how to move people in land, air, sea, water, and actually we have eyes on the space as well. And all these products over here which you can see are either on the market or under development. Now, this is what we do right now, but what about the future? How will the future look like? As I said, that's my job, so let us ask AI what the future will look like. And actually, through lots of prompt engineering, we tried many different prompts of the different scenarios which we are working on. And in every prompt, in every scenario, no matter we tried an utopian scenario or a dystopian scenario, we always saw one thing which was very, very common: roads. So in every aspect of the future, we saw that roads were going to remain, which means mobility by road is going to remain, which basically means that transportation is still going to be a big part of the future. Thank God. But what technologies would we need to enable this future? And that is basically where Emerging Tech Lab comes in. We tend to take inspiration always from nature, and one question which we asked ourselves was, who's more intelligent, birds or humans? Well done. It's a rhetorical question, of course, and let's see if the videos work. So we looked at, I'm not going to play the whole video, it's quite hilarious, honestly, but then we looked at humans moving, and then we looked at birds moving. Okay? Technically, they are not intelligent, and technically, we are intelligent. Right? And that's why we decided to focus on something called decentralized intelligence. All right, I will move now, otherwise we will end up looking at that amusing video. By the way, you can share the link to the audience if you want to. So right now, everything is centralized in the world. Okay, central architecture is where basically there's like a master node and there are slave nodes. Amazon Web Services is centralized. The Apple ecosystem is centralized. connected vehicles, no matter if you're in a BMW ecosystem or Audi ecosystem or a Honda ecosystem, they're all centralized right now. But what the world is moving towards is basically decentralization, where there is automated decision making going to be made possible at every different node. And at system level, we will have optimization utilizing, dare I say, the two letters AI. How that works. So this is the kind of pyramid which we say. The most basic layer is connectivity. Connectivity is basically how data can be transferred from one end to the other. Connectivity is being augmented by artificial intelligence right now, which will eventually be augmented by Web3, which is decentralization. Now, decentralization has two aspects. It's decentralization in terms of decision making, but also digital ownership, which basically does not exist in the physical world, which currently right now happens in games. There are several technologies which basically are enabling these different layers of connectivity, AI, Web3, etc. And this is what we're investigating. But what is its effect on mobility? So right now, you can say there are different mobility products. And what's happening is artificial intelligence is no longer a dream. It is no longer something which will happen in the future. It's happening right now. Actually, it's been happening for the last 5 years as far as R&D and technology development is concerned. Every aspect of every product which we currently use has used AI in some way, shape, or form. So this is happening right now. It's not emerging. This is happening right now. The applications exist right now. But if you look at decentralization, the Web3 aspects, of course, there is some, blockchain technology is, I think most of the people over here would be aware of. But the digital ownership aspect of it, which is not physical, but digital ownership aspect of it, that is currently only taking place in the world of gamification. Because, you can buy, if people who play Fortnite, for example, you can buy special dances after you complete a routine, or you can buy a special sword or something like that. So that ownership right now exists in the gamification, not in the real world. And if you look at extended reality of this decentralization, yes, there are cars right now with heads-up display, there are aircrafts with heads-up display, etc., which exist right now, but again, very much siloed. In 10 years' time, the vehicle will basically become a platform. The last 15 years, the smartphone was the platform of the last 15 years, and an entire ecosystem was created around smartphone. Several companies were created, several organizations were created, and actually, that is a kind of like a centralized ecosystem, but there is a lot of decentralization aspect to it as well. If you consider the Apple CarPlay, the App Store, all the different companies which develop apps for the App Store are actually independent companies. And there is mutual, it's not codified right now, it's all through legal documentation. There is mutual symbiotic relations have been created, so that entire ecosystem is kind of flourishing, and it has made many people wealthy. But the vehicle actually is going to be the platform of the future. What will AI do? There'll be hyper-personalization of services in the vehicle. So it's not just normal personalization, the hyper-personalization, and there'll be accurate in anticipation of user needs. And one thing which I want to say is that as far as AI is concerned, as a company, as Honda, we are not saying that artificial intelligence will be there to replace human effort. But AI should be developed such that it will augment human effort rather than replace it. There is a term which we tend to use a lot, which is not cooperative artificial intelligence, which is basically what we are working on. In terms of Web3, vehicle ownership right now is a physical ownership, but that will be augmented by the digital ownership. And that was actually already started in some cases. There are a few Web3 startups which are actually doing that. And there will be symbiotic relations which will be created between different ecosystems. So right now, as a car company, I work for a car company, but every member of my team actually is not an automotive engineer. I've got 0 automotive engineers working within the team. And that is the start of creating this symbiotic relationship with different ecosystems, different organizations, maybe the gaming industry, maybe the finance industry, maybe the creative industry as such. And beyond, basically, every mode of transport will be a different node, which will have decision-making capabilities by itself. AI to AI negotiation, which is something in the technical world it's known as multi-agent reinforcement learning, where basically AI agents will talk to different AI agents and there will be system level optimization and not individual level optimization. Right now, because of this individual level optimization, we still see that things are not kind of working very well. I mean, if you use Google Maps, for example, or Waze or Apple Maps, you see that, if there's traffic, the entire road flow is taken somewhere else. Again, because that's individual level optimization and not system level optimization. So in the future, vehicles, modes of transport will be nodes which will be able to augment human behavior, and it will actually free up a lot of human potential and human time. Eventually, for AI, you are looking at increased in automated decision making from which humans do not need to be involved in. And in terms of Web3, there will be decentralized in digital making. There will not be any monopolies because you would require these symbiotic relations in terms of technology and in terms of organizations as well. And there will be a rise of digital ownership, not just physical ownership, digital ownership. Now, all this is well and good, but actually everything needs to be value-driven and not technology-driven. So many times, especially I'm not sure how many of you visited CES, but you go to CES and you see smart showers and smart toilets and stuff like that. But all these things are technology-driven. They're adding technical layers to products which actually don't need technology. And the organizations which will survive are the ones who are ready to create these symbiotic relationship and who are creating value-driven decisions and value-driven products. And finally, current industry silos will not exist in 10 years. So right now you have car companies, you have energy companies, you have telecom companies, you have aircraft companies, etc. But these silos are all going to be amalgamated into different things. Because right now, things like cloud computing, AI, mobility is already kind of merged in. With electrification, energy is merged in. Actually, Honda is now an energy provider as well in many parts of the world. Materials tech, things like quantum, etc. All these things, there are researchers in our teams who are working on all these technologies, and no longer these silos will exist. Overall, I think the mobility sector is going through a huge disruption right now. Electrification was one, AI is the other. The next is the decentralization. Software is basically currently impacting the sector, but decentralization, I believe, is the next chapter in this disruption. Only value-driven innovation will survive through collaboration. One of the reasons why I'm here is looking for collaborations. And if what I have said is of any interest to you or any of your organization is basically working within these trajectories, that's the QR code. I'll be happy to have a chat with you. Thank you very much.